Niko. This is Niko Kargas, who's from psychology, Department of Psychology. I'll leave it to you.
Yes, and I'm also the director of the Autism Research Innovation Centre. Now, this is a university-wide centre, so we have representatives from both colleges now and different schools. So today I would like to briefly introduce to some of the work that we do at the centre and I am involved. And as you could see, we're focusing on empowering neurodiversity through research. And I will briefly talk about some of the projects, as I mentioned, as I'm involved. And later we're going to focus on some work we are conducting with most of you here, actually, on developing innovative digital approaches for neurodiversity training, and particularly on how we are using 360 degrees video for this purpose. Okay. So I will start by briefly introducing the center and these projects, and I hope that this might spark some interest for further collaboration. And so in short, in ARIC, our mission is to create a diverse and inclusive environment where community knowledge and academic expertise merge and complement each other in productive and impactful ways, with the goal to develop evidence-based innovative approaches that can be adapted by professionals across different sectors, including health and social services, education, different workplaces, with the aim to enrich the quality of life of autistic people, their families, and those who support them throughout their lifespan. Essentially, ARIC amalgamates the expertise and specialized knowledge of researchers from various disciplines within the University of Lincoln, focusing on applied research that enhances the health and well-being of neurodivergent individuals and their families. If you'd like to find out more about the center, you can visit our website. Very briefly to share it, I need to tell you that I am the chair, but we have research program leads with representatives coming from different schools, and their role is to help us facilitate research development. And now, I like to say that an important aspect of our work is that we use a community-based participatory research approach, which allow us to engage the broader autism community in the development of evidence-based best practices and services for neurodivergent people. Therefore, one of the center's primary objectives is to establish effective communication channels between external agencies and academics for the co-creation of high-quality applied research that actually translates into practice. And in fact, we have methods that we try to achieve this. And to be honest, we hold the view that the manner in which we conduct our research is as crucial, if not more important, than the topics we're actually researching. And in case you're asking, our contributions in this research is not workloaded. Everything we do it in our own time. It seems that everyone who is involved has a genuine interest in doing this research in this area. And as I like to say, we're all driven by innate need to actually make a difference. And this is what we're doing. So, working with the community is very important, as I mentioned, and it is something that's very close to our heart. So the way we try to do this is by first, we must understand the needs of the autism community for designing meaningful research programs, and to achieve this, we engage all key stakeholders in all aspects of the research process, from the stage of identifying research priorities to development, implementation, and dissemination of research, something that allows us to identify effective routes to impact, as to ensure that the work that we're actually going to do is not going to just stay on a piece of paper, but is actually going to translate into real practice, is going to generate real world impact. Am I talking too fast? I am, but okay, I have too much coffee already. The truth is, what I'm planning to do is I like to give you a very good, quick overview of the center and some of the projects to demonstrate this community-based participatory research approach. And then later on, I would like us to focus on interactive activities, so I will need a bit of time for that. But if I'm talking too fast, ask me to slow down and I will. Okay? Now, this is the model that we use. And how we try to involve everyone. This is accomplished by through creating meaningful research working groups where we form a continuous feedback loop among these groups with representatives often coming from the academic community, autism community, statutory agencies, policy makers, and of course service providers. This is important because if we involve everyone from the start, we know that we're doing something that's very well needed. We can do something that's going to be absorbed in real world practice, and we also have policy makers to back us up and actually, guide us on how we can actually make a project or our findings to inform legislation or to inform practice. It's worth noting that in many of these projects, the Progressive Autism Group, which is an autistic-led student group, is involved in most of our research projects, and they're doing a very meaningful practical stuff, such as engage with the creation of research materials, data analysis, and so forth, as well as they try to create a safe space for neurodivergent people and to enhance the learning experience of our students. Have I missed anything? And if you know anyone who would like to join this group, please speak to Tom.
Yes, please get in touch.
And for example, actually now, just last Friday, we had Rachel, what was the session you organized?
It was a feedback viewing, wasn't it? Is that right? For the 360 A&E film that we made last year.
Exactly. Yeah. So we tend to involve them in all stages of the research process, and they're a big part of our co-production. Now, what I want to say is, and here I just have selected a few different funders, that by working closely with external partners, this has enabled us to broaden the range of funding available to us by accessing both research and charitable intervention-based funders. And here you see some examples. So yes, we apply for and receive funding from NHR, British Academy, and so forth. But at the same time, we have received funding from these groups of people that we have nothing to do with. It was actually the charity that applied for funding to these organizations, and we got a portion from them. If you're just an academic, you don't have access to this. So by using a community-based research approach, I like to say it's great because you generate research that is well needed and it has great applicability, but at the same time, it's good business for us in terms of accessing funding. And hello. And here I like to show you how we conduct research in various areas with a particular emphasis, I have to say, on clinical audits, service evaluation and development, and health and well-being interventions that include usually elements of interactive activities such as human-animal interactions or human-robot interactions or AI interaction or for-school activities. And this type of interventions are commonly known as naturalistic and developmental behavioral interventions. And this is what we do. And of course, as you can imagine, the multidisciplinary nature of our research projects requires the formulation of teams with members that have complementary expertise and backgrounds. And what I'm going to do, I will give you a few examples from projects that we have been working on and I am involved. Okay? Starting with this one. I'm not going to tell you much about the actual research project, so it's going to be more like a potpourri. And I'm going to show you, 3-4 examples and give you the brief idea. The main thing that I would like to emphasize is this, that we have representatives from different schools and people with different expertise. And funded by NHS here, we conduct an independent review of services for adults with learning disability and autistic adults in Midlands prisons. And the main thing is that that was a huge project. We've been in 24 out of 26 Midlands prisons. It hasn't happened anything like this anywhere. Then we collected data from 175 healthcare staff from prison and partner agencies. As I mentioned, across 24 prisons. We conducted the material with a steering group or with representatives coming from different relevant services and autistic prisoners and prisoners with learning disability. And to make the long story short, our findings now inform the current NHS multi-million pound strategy for transforming service provision for neurodivergent people, not just in prisons, but also out in the community. So if you ever go to NHS and you see some changes, for example, in neurodiversity nurse, we might have something to do with it, or have the care pathway, we might have something to do with it. And now our work has been also is in currently informing relevant legislation of the Parliament. Okay? In another project, switching to a different topic, is we explore how pet-hum related activities affect in a positive or negative way the well-being and mental health of autistic and non-autistic pet owners, finding promising evidence indicating that dog-related activities can positively influence mental health well-being and prevent suicide among autistic people. So now we are exploring the idea whether we can use this approach in a more systematic method as a self-care approach in the community. And this could help people actually who either live in isolation or live in rural areas, or they find it hard to seek help from somewhere else. And again, I'd like to show, that we have people coming from the community, the media, and different schools. And here, to be honest, in all of these projects, there are so many other people involved, but I only select a few just to demonstrate the example. Forest School. Now in this project, we're working closely with the British Forest School Association and a regional forest school organization, the Land and Leaf Collective. Their staff have been very active participants as researchers in this line of research. And our goal is to provide empirical evidence for the development of practical guidelines on planning and implementing inclusive forest school programs, specifically for autistic children and young people. Furthermore, we are examining whether participation in these programs can enhance the mental health and well-being of autistic learners, but as well as their families. It turns out, and again, this came from the practitioners themselves and from the families themselves. Usually they go, they take their child to a forest school site, and then the parents meet, and it's like, it's for them, it's like a peer support group. That was, you cannot think about it until you're in the field and you see how things work. And we're also exploring this. This one, you want to have a go of this? This is your work. Okay, this is how I describe your work. Now, Tom here is exploring how social robots can be used as learning tools in real-world settings for some autistic children by boosting engagement, improving social skills, and reducing anxiety. He's also examining what makes social robots effective for autistic kids. Tommy is short investigating the suggestion that social robots often offer unique benefits as learning tools for some autistic children. I say for some because when we talk about autism, it's a spectrum. And so we are always looking for meaningful subgroups that share particular characteristics. So whatever I'm showing you here, please don't take it as a one-size approach, but it should be effective for a particular subgroup. And in this case, we believe that the subgroup will benefit in enhancing engagement and social processing, reducing anxiety, as I said. How was this?
10 out of 10.
Anything else? In a nutshell, as I say, it's much more complicated than that. And again, you see people from different schools, military. Since there's so much more happening, I thought to squeeze this here. But I tell you what, in short, working alongside with colleagues from the Defense and Security Research Network, we are examining the social support requirements, that is both formal and informal, of military families with neurodiverse children. And our main goal is to identify their unique support needs, something that is crucial for enhancing the quality of life of these families and the efficiency of military personnel. And as part of this endeavor, also we are creating mental health agents, mental health companions, where they can provide like a first aid to these families. Now, again, this is very important. So we're doing this, okay? And I save the best for last. Here, working together with colleagues from the College of Arts and Social Sciences and Humanities. Is this still the name of your school?
The Lincoln School of Creative Arts, now it's called.
That?
Yeah.
Okay. And we are developing cutting-edge digital methods for neurodiversity training for staff in healthcare, the criminal justice system, in various workplaces. Just last week we added also for university staff, neurodiversity training, and we're also doing the, okay, this could be for first aid responders.
Yeah, emergency services.
Emergency. Yes. I think this is a niche area itself. It's not like criminal justice system or no?
Yeah.
And this is what we're doing, and this is why we're here today. Actually, what I'd like to tell you is that our unique approach involves the use of 360-degree interactive films depicting real-life situations as part of our training process. And these resources will be available to be delivered either online or via VR. And Stephen can tell you more about it. But I think, if you like, if not, I will just do a demonstration. You can possibly take a vote. I have a code here where you can actually take part in the study, and we can do it all together. What should we do?
That sounds good, something interactive. Yeah.
Well, if you like to do it, there are two ways. You can scan your code. I'll tell you how it's gonna work. You complete a questionnaire with your demographics and your autism knowledge. Then you watch a 4-minute something video, and you're going to ask some questions about reasonable adjustments. Then you're going to watch again the same video, but from a different perspective. You're gonna ask the same questions again. We'd like to see how this helps you make better informed decisions. So there's no deception. Is what you see is what you get. And in short, we are testing, this is what the participant information will tell you, whether these video materials can actually be used as effective training materials for neurodiversity. So we like to help trainers and provide them with meaningful materials. So would you like to have a go? What I'm thinking to do, actually, while we're doing this, I will share my slides with you at the end, if you like to pass them around so you could find more links about our work. And to finish by saying, alone we can do so little, together we can do so much. Okay? So I hope we stick together, and if you want to get in touch.